Let's get some water.
Are you ready, Miss Maid Marion?
Do I have spinach in my teeth?
Alright, we're coming into Canada here. Beautiful sunset. Hopefully no glitches. See you on the other side. Alright, we are now in Canada. First time north of the border. The crossing went without a hitch. Guy asked me like 2 questions, handed me my passport back. Said have a good time. So we are now about an hour and a half from the home of my good friend, very talented singer, songwriter, artist named M.E. Law. And I'll see you there. Alright, here I am in Toronto, Canada, in the living room of the lovely and talented M.E. Law. And,
That's M.E.
I met Marion in San Diego at a musical event, and we hit it off, and we've spent some time together here and there. We spent some time in San Felipe, and one of the projects we've been working on this week is doing a recording of her song by that name, San Felipe, and that'll be coming up here shortly. You are a painter. You've only been painting for the past 10 years or so, but you've been a musician since the age of 9-ish, you said? Started taking piano lessons at the age of 9.
Yeah.
And when did you start actually writing and singing, or singing?
Well,
writing?
I guess I was 15. I got my first guitar.
Yeah.
And because I kept stealing my brother's guitar all the time, so he finally convinced my parents that I needed my own because I was playing his more than he was. And within 3 or 4 months, I was playing at the local coffee house. I only knew like 3.5 chords, but I was fortunate enough at that time to be part of that era when it was still kind of the tail end of the folky era. And God, I'm giving away my age, but I got to open up for people like Willie P. Bennett, who was he passed away many years ago, but he was sort of an iconic person in that folk realm, and he was very beloved. And that was a big thrill for me to open up for him when I was 16. And there was another group called Perth County Conspiracy, and they came to my high school, and I opened up for them too. And I guess I was hooked. I was just hooked, even though I was probably the shyest kid in the school. Somehow a guitar and the songs just gave me confidence and changed my whole trajectory. I was going to be a journalist. I'm going to do a song that I wrote when I lived in Mexico. This is dedicated to a little fishing village I lived in for a year. It's called San Felipe. They call it a quiet little drinking village with a fishing problem. I love that. You get it. Arriba. But no, really, it was a magical place to be, and I met a lot of wonderful people there, a lot of parrot heads, actually, and my friend Rick Scatino he lives in Florida, and that's how I met him, through a lot of the parrot head trop rockers, they call them. So he wants me to do this is going out to all our friends in Florida and California. So this is called The Sands of San Felipe.
She sings a gentle way. Listen carefully to what she says. Streets ring out with laughter of children, smiles on the faces melt your heart. Each day is a gift in San Felipe. Locals have turned living into art on the sands of San Felipe, where the desert meets the sea. On the golden rippled sands of San Felipe, there's nowhere else I need to be. Go to the mountain to find wisdom. Desert whispers secrets in your ear. Waters of the sea will heal you. Spirit floats with freedom without the weight of fear on the sands of San Felipe, where the desert meets the sea. On the golden rippled sands of San Felipe, there's nowhere else I need to be. Let's get some tacos on that sweet little Malecon. Let mariachi strains wash away aches and pains on the sands of San Felipe, where the desert meets the sea. On the golden rippled sands of San Felipe, there's nowhere else I need to be. On the golden rippled sands of San Felipe. San Felipe.
And it wasn't until you were quite older that you started painting.
Yes, 10 years ago, going through a massive health crisis and not able to perform anymore, and still writing songs, but sort of housebound for several years. And somebody gave me a few little things of paint and some brushes, and I started painting my backyard, which was all crumbling concrete. And I started doing murals on there, like very primitive. And then I started finding tiles buried in the dirt around my yard, because it was a mosaicked house in San Diego. And I started painting on the tiles and rocks, and basically nothing in my backyard was left unpainted. And to this day, I actually visited there last year, and it's still holding up. And then I started working on canvas, of course, and took some lessons with a wonderful teacher, and haven't really stopped since. It's become a great passion, and I hope to keep learning. I feel like I'm still a student at this stage. In 2015, it was the 100th anniversary of the theory of relativity.
Really?
I feel so intelligent when I say that. So this is my tribute to Albert Einstein, and one of the theories that I think has changed the whole landscape. And I sound, way smarter than I actually am right now. But this is called relativity. About the psychic hotline, although I love astrology, I learned a lot from the I Ching. Man, that's some wild poetry. Explanation, no magic potion for us. The chemistry is there in this love so rare. Sure as E equals MC squared.
And you are also now working on, I guess what you would call a one-woman play, which may eventually be more than that, but for the moment it's a one-woman play. That's all I can afford. And tell us a little bit about that.
The one-woman play just came out of a desire to try something different. I have so many songs, and they cover a huge range of subjects. It was at first an attempt to try to take some of my songs that are, the range of subjects is huge. I can write a song pretty much about anything, and some absurd things have come up through the years. And I guess it was just going to be at first the stories behind the songs, and very personal, and somehow it morphed over the past year or so, and I took a course with a woman named Anne-Marie Scheffler, wonderful lady, and she's launched 5 very successful one-person shows, and I took a 5-week course with her, and I'm basically playing 3 characters: myself, my superego, and my id, and the name of the play is Where Ego I Go. And so I sort of had to plumb the depths of my own psyche for this, because it's important to me to stay true to who I am. However, the characters seem to veer off in their own direction. They've taken a life of their own.
And you're going to be performing this by yourself on a dark stage with a couple of puppets. Tell me about the puppets.
Yes. Do you want to see them?
No, let's save those for
the
actual, when we get back here and see your play.
Later. They're very excitable. Yes, puppets. That was something, again, that just came into my mind about 2 months ago. The puppets just sort of bring a great deal of levity to the situation, and also, you know, distracts everyone from the fact that I'm doing 3 different voices.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be quite the undertaking, not to respond, like not my eyes not to register the same emotion that the puppets would be registering, but only to be responding to them in my own character. And it's kind of a metaphor for like all of us, what we go through, because, you know, we all have to put on our masks every day, and we all try to please other people, or most of us, unless you're a complete narcissist. But, you know, there's always that trying to please everyone and keep everyone happy, and sometimes not saying what you really think. So I love the id for that she just says whatever she thinks, and she doesn't care, and she thinks she's fantastic. And I love that character. Mm-hmm. And I love the superego too, but she's really judgmental.
Right. And you're going to be interspersing some of your original music in there, so you'll be singing and performing.
Yeah, I've got my song that's on my CD, Laughing My AO, which is called Validation Junkie, which is a big part of the ego is that need for validation. And probably I will write some new things too. I did write a theme song called Where Ego I Go, and which I will open the show with, because it just sort of sets it all up and tells you basically what you're going to be seeing. So at least I hope people will grasp that. Right. If not, they will, a few minutes in, they're going to get what's going on.
Right. And a lot of your music is humorous.
Yeah. I like to think so.
Yeah. Well, it's.
And this is just about trying to maintain some levity. And this is also a tribute to acronyms on Facebook.
Suits and ties, spinning yarns, they hypnotize. Blind confessions, blatant lies, we get to laugh at your disguise. Jesters court the dedicated, make decisions while medicated, thinks integrity is overrated. Who could have anticipated? OMG, such a hilarity. I'm LMAO. LOL, world's going to hell, but I'm LMAO. GMO got me feeling low, but I'm sound the alarm. Passive mob will do no harm. Mighty not too great big pharma, laughing in the face of karma. OMG, such a hilarity. I'm LMAO. LOL, world's going to hell, but I'm LMAO. Jumbo got me feeling low, but I'm LMAO.
I've recorded 5 CDs over the years. I have 2 that are no longer in circulation, but at some point I'll reissue them. But at this point I have 2 actual CDs out there, and I just recorded some more songs with Nick Blagona, who recorded my other 2 CDs. Actually, I've done so much recording with Nick through the past 20 years. He's kind of my guy to go to, and it's been an honor to work with him. And anyone that doesn't know Nick Blagona, you should Google his name, because he's produced, or rather engineered, some of the biggest albums of all time. And and now he works with all levels of people, but mostly out of his home and at a fancy studio in Hamilton, Ontario. And he's won Producer and Engineer of the Year at the Hamilton Music Awards 3 years in a row. And I hope to be going down there again in the next couple of weeks and doing a few more songs, and then I will have a full CD to issue, I hope, by the end of the year.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you. Tonight.
So there's some other clips on my YouTube channel, and she also does commission portraits of pets and whatever else. She can do this from anywhere. Send her a photo, and you'll make a painting out of it, right?
Yep.
And if you're in the Toronto area, she does piano lessons, vocal coaching, stuff like that. So look her up and check her out. Find a gig, get out there, say hello. She likes to make new friends. Thank you for having me here in Toronto. It's been a wonderful time, and I hope to see you again in Mexico sometime in the very near future again. And that's it. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks, Rick.